Right. Yesterday's class, concluding part, I made you understand the importance of Indus Valley civilization. Before entering into the chapter, it is expected of you to know why Indus Valley civilization holds such an important place in the history. That's why I gave you people a brief background on that. Before entering into the topic Indus Valley civilization, it is equally important to know the limitations. Generally, in every textbook you find categorical statements. Okay. This is what is there in Indus Valley, that is not there in Indus Valley. Okay. One must be very careful. Okay. Why? Because number one, you don't know what the language Indus Valley people had spoken. We have no knowledge about their language. Number two, you have not been able to read their script. They had their own script. Unfortunately, we have not been able to read their script. It is like you asking me to evaluate your answer. Okay. Okay. Your handwriting is so bad. Okay. I could not make out this. Take it in the right sense. Okay. I could not make out anything out of it. But I can't say your answer is bad. Maybe you have given a wonderful answer. Right? But you are not allowing me to read that, This is what is the problem with Indus Valley civilization. Their script has not been deciphered so far. You have not been able to decipher the script so far. You don't know their language. You don't know what that they had written. Thirdly, very interesting. Nearly 2/3 of the Indus Valley city sites are located in the riverbeds. When you are going for excavation, water is surfacing. Very important sites are not fully been excavated. Unless the site is fully excavated, okay, you cannot get a overall view of the site. So our knowledge is not perfect. Our knowledge is not final on Indus Valley civilization. Unfortunately, the technique we follow, radiocarbon dating method, C14 test. C14 is outdated. C12, most advanced. But is C12 there in India? Unfortunately, you have not followed C12. You are not developed. So there are so many limitations, my dear. No textbook talks about these limitations. You must understand. You must know these limitations. Got the point? Fine. Then come to the topic, Indus Valley civilization. What are the antecedents of IVC? I told you in yesterday's class, I think. It was Charles Mason. Mason who first noticed the remains of Mohenjo-daro. Alexander Cunningham, you call him, father of Indian field archaeology. He concluded, yes, Mohenjo-daro, a site of archaeological importance. But no excavation started. You had Archaeological Survey of India. Archaeological Survey of India would only establish whether the site is archaeologically important or not. They don't take up excavation. Excavations is entirely the responsibility of archaeology department. Who would conduct excavation? Archaeology department, not Archaeological Survey of India. Archaeological Survey of India is just like a physician. Yeah, this is your problem. This is your disease. Understand? Archaeology department is like surgeon. Understand? Who conducts the excavation? Archaeology department. Archaeology department in India, it was founded by Karjan, Governor General Karjan, with Indian Monuments Preservation Act, 1904. Karjan instrumental in appointing Sir John Marshall as the first DG, Director General of Indian Archaeology. I told you it was our luck, it was our fortune to have Sir John Marshall, highly committed man, and good archaeologists, Dairam Sahani, R.D. Banerjee, Nandagopal Majumdar, brilliant M.S. Watts, Pandit Watts. They are highly committed people. It's because of the cumulative effect, cooperation, collective effort of these people, that Indus Valley finally had seen the limelight. Clear? Now the beginning of Indus Valley civilization, controversial. End of Indus Valley civilization, controversial. Everything is controversial finally. Got the point? That's why I said, okay, be very, very careful. Don't give sweeping statements. Got the point? Okay. One of my close relatives, he himself an expert in archaeology, okay, responsible for great Amaravati stupa unearthed. I am very closely connected to him. Okay. He was telling, you talk with half knowledge, you better shut your mouth. Understand? You read only NCERT and you fellows you talk. Where is because I can't stand before him. He is an expert in the subject. Okay. Our problem is what we study and what when we go to the spot what we see, they are entirely different. Got the point? In the textbook I have seen, Ajanta, cave number 1, Pulakesin, the greatest of the Western Chalukyas, giving a grand reception for Persian ambassador. Aisha, kya wonderful painting. When I took my wife and my 2 sons to Ajanta cave, वो पेंटिंग नहीं है उधर. मैं पूछा तो कहाँ है पेंटिंग? कौन बोला तुम्हें? पेंटिंग नहीं. Painting nahi. Another drawback, you also see this. Whenever you go to any site, there you will only see one notice. This is historically, archaeologically important site. Don't cause any damage to it. That's it. No one tells you what is the importance of the site. And fault also lies with us. We people, wherever we go, okay, we register our presence there. On the walls of the monuments, we write all dirty things, you understand? Anita, I love you. लिखो उधर. वो जगह है क्या लिखने के लिए? हैं? बोलो. You are the one who is spoiling the monument. That is not your property. In your room, you write whatever that you want to write on Anita. No problem. That is not your property. That is our future generation's property. It belongs to our kids, not to us. You have no right to touch, first of all. That's why you go to Agra. Okay. They are not allowing you to touch, first of all. You fellows just peep inside, go, bas. Sheesh Mahal, Khas Mahal, itna acha building hai. But they don't allow you to inside. Even if you touch that also, they blow the whistle. Because we have caused enough damage. The point here is, in Indus Valley civilization also, okay, nothing can definitely be said in certain terms. Understand? This is the main problem. What are the controversies? Controversy to begin with, was Indus Valley civilization an abrupt appearance or civilization developed over a period of time? Is it a sudden appearance? Indus Valley cities appeared suddenly or they developed over a period of time? Controversy number one. You got a question on that also? Okay. This is the opinion of Sir John Marshall. Sir John Marshall, he had a strange feeling when he entered into the sites of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Okay. He felt as if he had been walking through the streets of old Manchester, London. I can't believe my eyes to see these sites so fresh, so new, so fresh. I am not getting the impression that these sites belong to 3500 BC. Okay. This is the feeling of Sir John Marshall. Two questions that immediately figured in his mind. Okay. Where are the villages? Villages to support Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. No city, no town can survive on its own. Every city and every town depends upon village only. You people are very happily placed in Rajendra Nagar. Morning when you get up, you have दूध मिलता है, काफी टी सब मिलता है, वेजिटेबल्स सब आ रहा है, मगर कैसा कहाँ से आ रहा है? Everything is coming from within Rajendra Nagar, is it? You are cultivating rice in Rajendra Nagar? Huh? Provisions and everything should come from villages. So, Sir John Marshall's question, where are the villages supporting Harappa and Mohenjo-daro? Without a village, how these cities developed? He developed his own idea that Indus Valley cities must have had an abrupt appearance. That is the word used by UPSC. Sudden appearance. Okay. Today, we proved Sir John Marshall wrong. Indus Valley civilization had not appeared all of a sudden. It developed over a period of time. No civilization develops suddenly. For that matter, what the villages he had been looking for, we found them after 1940, after the subsequent excavations done. There you have seen villages supporting the urban centers, number one. Number two, Indus Valley civilization developed over a period of time. How do you say this? All Indus Valley cities won't come under one stage. My dear, in the evolution of Indus Valley civilization, you have 4 stages. Pre-Harappan, Proto-Harappan, Harappan and Post-Harappan. You cannot say all the cities of Indus Valley civilization come under 2500 to 1750. Are you understanding? There were cities you can trace between 3500 to 2500. That means they come under second stage. In the first stage, you don't have city, only villages. I will explain all that later. So when you have 4 stages of development, it means that civilization developed gradually over a period of time. Next, you see Indus Valley script. Indus Valley seals, they manufactured beautiful seals. Indus Valley pottery, beautiful pottery. Understand? All these art forms, when you observe, you are convinced that they developed over a period of time. Are you understanding? All parts are not beautiful. There are parts not so beautiful. There are parts better. There are parts the best. That means what? That means what? That means what? The art developed gradually. Right? If you have your notes, you see your 10th class notes, you see your intermediate notes, you see your post-graduation notes, handwriting is definitely different. Get the point? Your handwriting in LKG, UKG, horrible. Because hand is not stable, right? When you have such lovely handwriting now, means this handwriting you developed over a period of time or suddenly? The period of time. So a very close observation of Indus Valley art forms also establishes the fact that civilization developed over a period of time. So Marshall is wrong. Finally we proved Marshall. Then how Indus Valley civilization evolved? Explain. Indus Valley civilization evolved under 4 stages. Number 1, pre-Harappan. Before this, let me explain pre, proto, what is the meaning of these terms. Okay. When you are studying your NCRTs, you very often come across these terms. Pre-Harappan, proto-Harappan, post-Harappan. We don't know the meanings. Without knowing the meaning, we study. That's where the problem starts. Similarly, prehistory, proto-history, history. What do you mean by this? My dear, I am explaining, try to understand. Number 1, prehistory. What is prehistory? Prehistory means what all that happened in history, before a written recorded evidence is found. Before written recorded evidence is found, and that evidence you shall be in a position to read and understand. Are you understanding? What is history? What is prehistory? Prehistory means what all that happened before a written recorded evidence is found. That written recorded evidence one must be in a position to read and understand. That means history starts with written recorded evidence? Yes, exactly. History is not a concocted story, fabricated story. History must go with written recorded evidence. When you don't have written recorded evidence, that you cannot call it history. What's the matter? Huh? Mike? Any obstruction in my... Right. So, prehistory means... So, prehistory means history, what all that happened before written recorded evidence is found that could be read and understood. History starts with written recorded evidence. In between prehistory and history, you also come across a stage called proto-history, P-R-O-T-O. What is proto-history? Proto-history means you have written recorded evidence, but you are not able to read. Indus Valley comes under proto-history. You have evidence, but you have not been able to read. Similarly, you have evidence, but not in the written form. Then also you call it as proto-history. Proto-history means written recorded evidence, but not being able to decipher or read and understand. Proto-history also means evidence, but not in the written form. Classic example, Vedas. 4 Vedas. My dear, Vedas unwritten. Vedas are not written. Vedas oral transmissions. From Paramaguru to Guru, Guru to Shishya, Shishya to Prashishya. The oral tradition goes like that. Are you interested in Veda? Come and sit before me. I will teach you. And you teach the same to your student. There is nothing in the Vedic learning giving you Xerox material, printed material, which nahi hota. Get the point? What your teacher says, that is final. You sit before him, recite the way he is reciting. Most scientific way of teaching, Vedic learning. That's why a Vedic scholar, even in the midnight you wake him up, he will recite thousands and thousands of verses without any help of text or any source. Top to bottom, mind to head, lower portion, I mean leg, everything is activated here, involved here. Understand? That is the real way of teaching. Okay. It's that, every institute is giving you printed material, posting you synopsis, handouts. You are not reading anything. After the class, you have nothing to read. No Xerox machines, no papers, no material, no textbook, no pen, no pencil, nothing. Come to think of that. UPSC will give you a fixed date, go and take the interview. That's all. They'll ask you questions, answers. Okay. Means with what rapt attention you will be in the class. Because once you leave the class, there is nothing to read. Okay. That is the way Vedas start. Got the point? Okay. So Vedas are there, but not in the written form. That history comes under proto-history. Written recorded evidence is there, but we are not able to read and understand. Proto-history, evidence is there, but not in the written form. That is proto-history. Vedic civilization comes under proto-history. Indus Valley civilization comes under proto-history. Are you clear now? Now come to pre-Harappan, proto-Harappan, Harappan and post-Harappan. I told you there are 4 different stages in the evolution of IVC. Okay. Right. The first stage is pre-Harappan. Just listen, don't write anything. This is the first stage, 4500 to 3500 BC. During this stage, first stage, the beginnings of Indus Valley civilization started. Where? In Balochistan. Balochistan. You have, if you remember, Mehergarh. I told you Mehergarh in Balochistan. This entire part is Persian Gulf. You have here Iraq. You remember Mesopotamia, Iraq. I told you Mehergarh maintained contacts with Mesopotamian civilization. I gave you the statement. Mehergarh, the Neolithic site responsible for Indus Valley civilization. In 4500 BC, okay, not only Meherghar, you also had nearly 8 to 10 village cultures formed in Balochistan, small villages. Right. We call them all Baluchi cultures because you see them in Balochistan. That's why they are called Baluchi cultures. Meherghar closely connected to these 8 village cultures. Okay. Call them Baluchi cultures. Okay. Meherghar in between these 8 cultures and Mesopotamia. Meherghar, the nodal point. Meherghar, the transitory point, junction between Mesopotamia and Baluchi cultures. It was through Meherghar ideas of civilization entered into Balochistan from Mesopotamia. Are you understanding? What were these village cultures? Okay. Village cultures, Rahman Dheri, Sarai Kola, Kili Gul Muhammad, okay, Gumla, Shartugai. These are the names. Okay. Kuli, Nal, Quetta, Job, Rahman Dehri, Jalilpo. These are the places. You call all these, put together 10 villages as Baluchi cultures because they are located in Balochistan. This is the beginning point of Indus Valley civilization. These cultures, they depended on pastoralism, rearing cattle population. They are not into agriculture. They practice, but very little. Their mainstay, that means their main profession, pastoralism. What is pastoralism? Rearing cattle. They depended on cattle population. They migrated towards the east. When you are migrating towards the east, for Balochistan in the eastern part, you have Hindu Kush and Suleiman mountains. Okay. Difficult for them to cross this and to enter into India. So they ended up in the first stage up to this point only. This is first stage called pre-Harappan. Second stage is called Proto-Harappan. What is Proto-Harappan? Proto-Harappan, a transitory period. A transitory period between pre-Harappan to Harappan. That transitory period is called Proto-Harappan. Transition period. Proto-Harappan stage, the second stage, 3500 to 2500 BC, for nearly 1000 years. During this stage, Baluchi cultures, they instead of going further towards the east, they entered into southern part of Sindh. They entered into present Sindh part of Pakistan. Right. Sindh part of present Pakistan, even today, my dear, very fertile land, alluvial soil. When India got divided into India and Pakistan, our major loss was that we lost most fertile lands to Pakistan, Sindh part of Pakistan, present Pakistan. So Balochistan people, they entered into Sindh part and they started agriculture there. How do you know that Balochistan people started agriculture there? Archaeologically, you have no evidence to say before 3500 BC, agriculture was there in Sindh. Archaeology tells us that agriculture started in the Sindh part only from 3500. If agriculture started means, who would have been the people? Definitely people of Balochistan. Any further evidence? Yes. You see the plow. Plow, you know, you use it for tilling the soil. plough used by the people of Balochistan and the plough used by the people of Sindh, it is just the same. Pots used by these two are also just the same. That means people of Balochistan definitely entered into Sindh part of present Pakistan and they started the agriculture there. Sindh part very fertile lands. Okay. So production increased. When production increases, that leads to what is called surplus production. What is surplus production? Surplus production means the production that remains with you when your requirements are fulfilled. When you have your requirements fulfilled, that is surplus production. Okay. Surplus production leads to capital. Surplus production leads to capital. From there, it leads to trade, commerce, industry. Are you understanding? Without surplus, you can't think about development of trade, commerce, and industry. With the development of trade, commerce, and industry, you will have towns, cities formed. Was it so? Yes. In the Proto-Harappan stage, for the first time we see two cities formed, Amri and Kardiji. Okay. I will give the names and the spellings later. I am explaining, try to understand. Now two cities were formed. Where were these two cities formed? In the Sindh part of present Pakistan, called Amri. Cities names Amri and Kardiji. This is not the end of the story. In the same second stage of Proto-Harappan times, civilization crossed the border, I mean river Indus, and entered into Rajasthan. Here you have Kalibangan. From here it went up to Banwali in Haryana. Okay. I mean, in the second stage, Indus Valley civilization expanded up to Banwali in Haryana. In the first stage, you had only 10 villages. In the second stage, you have 4 towns. Amri, Kardiji, Kalibangan, and Banwali. They are very well developed towns. Towns were formed. Third stage, the Harappan. By the time the third stage called the Harappan stage started, 2500 to 1750, this is the exact age of Indus Valley civilization, third stage, the highest stage of its development. Now you see how it got expanded. Indus Valley civilization went up to Alamgirpur in UP. It came down up to Daimabad. You remember Daimabad? Yesterday I told you? Yeah. Daimabad in Maharashtra. Manda in Kashmir in the north, and came up to Suktajendar, the westernmost border. Suktajendar in Sindh. From Suktajendar in Sindh to Alamgirpur in UP, Manda in Kashmir to Daimabad in Maharashtra. In the third stage, Indus Valley civilization emerged as the largest cultural formation in the entire prehistoric world. That's why I gave the statement. Indus Valley civilization, world's biggest civilization. In the first stage, you had only 10 villages. Second stage, you had 4 towns. Third stage, you have, my dear, as many as 250 cities. 250. Nearly 1,500 Indus Valley sites are there. 975 sites are located in the Sindh belt. 425 odd outside Sindh basin. Today, I'm telling you, you don't know exactly what is the end of this civilization, area-wise, to what extent it expanded. Okay. We are coming across new sites. Okay. This is how the civilization expanded. You talk great about underground drainage systems, town planning, understand, beautiful parts, seals, all appeared in this stage. This stage means Harappan stage. Fourth stage of Indus Valley civilization, you call it post-Harappan. What do you mean by post-Harappan? By 1750, Indus Valley civilization disappeared. Disappeared means cities destroyed. We don't know who destroyed them and how they got destroyed. When I go to decline, I will tell you what all happened. Everything is mysterious about this civilization, enigmatic. But you don't see the continuity of IVC definitely after 1750. In very few places, you see the continuity. That continuity is called post-Harappan. Almost all the Indus Valley cities ended. There in three places, you see the continuity. The three places, Jukar, Jungar, both come under Sindh part of present Pakistan, and Rakhi Ghari in Haryana. Rakhi Ghari. There, Indus Valley civilization continued. Even today, people say the way they make the pot, they still follow the same tradition. The way they are making the pottery, it is like that of Indus Valley times. Rakhi Ghari in Haryana. Okay. So these cultures come under the stage called post-Harappan culture. Are you clear? Okay. This clarity is not seen even among your seniors. Okay. People who talk of Indus Valley civilization. That's why you must be very clear about this. Right? Okay. Take a note. Where did I stop yesterday? Iron Age. Fine. Now continue the dictation. Give the heading. Indus Valley Civilization, IVC. Give the subheading. Greatness of the civilization or importance of the IVC. Importance of IVC. Number one, the only surviving civilization in the world today, and it was for this reason we say India never had break with the past. We say India never had break with the past. Full stop. Next, number two. It was world's most expanded civilization. Most expanded civilization. and the largest cultural formation Next, number 3. The utmost unique aspect, utmost, U-T-M-O-S-T, utmost unique aspect of the civilization was underground drainage systems. Underground drainage systems with manholes. Underline underground drainage systems. Drainage systems with manholes. Full stop. Next. Other unique aspects are other unique aspects of IVC. Other unique aspects are tremendous uniformity, in town planning, and the size of the brick and the size of the bricks used, BRIC, bricks used. There's uniformity in town planning. All Indus Valley cities look alike, just the same. And the size of the brick used is also the same. Astonishing. I will describe this when I go town planning and all. Next paragraph, next point. Technologically, next paragraph, next point. They were the first to cultivate cotton. Indus Valley people were the first to cultivate cotton. Full stop. Next paragraph. Technologically, they were quite well advanced. Full stop. They built artificial naval dockyards. Artificial naval dockyards. Artificial naval dockyards. Where do you see this dockyard? Lothal, within brackets, Lothal in Gujarat. Lothal, Lothal in Gujarat. Next paragraph. In artistic skills, they excelled. Artistic skills, they excelled, EXCELLED, excelled in making beautiful seals, SEAL, seals, and pottery, POTTERY, seals and pottery. Full stop. Next paragraph. The discovery of IVC, discovery of Indus Valley civilization, IVC, pushed pushed back the history of India for another 3000 years. History of India for another 3000 years. Full stop. Up to 1921, same paragraph. Up to 1921, history was written. Up to 1921, history was written with the main idea that India had no history before 1500 BC. India had no history before 1500 BC. 1500 BC, and the advent of Aryans, and the advent, A-D-V-E-N-T, and the advent of Aryans. Are you understanding? Okay, full stop. This was proved wrong. This was proved wrong W-R-O-N-G, wrong. When Harappa was discovered, when the site Harappa was excavated, E-X-C-A-V-A-T, excavated in 1921 by Dayaram Sahani, Dayaram, D-A-Y-A-R-A-M, Sahani, S-A-H-A-N-I. Clear? So that is the importance of IVC. Now give the subheading. Limitations on IVC. Limitations on IVC. Number one, we have no knowledge about their language. We have no knowledge about their language. Number two, we have not been able to read their script so far. Their script not deciphered so far. We have not been able to read their script so far. Next. Most of the Indus Valley sites are not fully excavated. Full stop. Now give the subheading. The background of IVC or antecedents. Antecedents of IVC or the background for IVC. It was British engineer. Charles Mason. Charles, M-A-S-O-N. Charles Mason. Charles, C-H-A-R-L-E-S. M-A-S-O-N. Charles Mason. The first to notice. He was the first to notice The ruins of Mohenjo-daro. Ruin, R-U-I-N. The ruins of Mohenjo-daro in 1826, 1826. Next. In 1861, next point, 1861, 1861, Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, was founded by Governor General Canning. Governor General Canning, C-A-N-N-I-N-G. Governor General Canning. Next. Alexander Cunningham. Next point. Alexander, C-U-N-N-I-N-G-H-A-M. Cunningham. Alexander Cunningham was called the father of Indian field archaeology. Called father of Indian field, F-I-E-L-D, field archaeology. Next. In 1904, 1904, Archaeology Department was founded. Archaeology Department was founded with Indian Monuments Preservation Act. With Indian Monuments Preservation Act of Governor General Karjan. Of GG, Governor General Karjan. Full stop. Sir John Marshall, John, J-H-O-N, Marshall, M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L, M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L, Sir John Marshall was the first DG, Director General, DG of Indian Archaeology. Full stop. Next paragraph. Give the subheading. Origins of IVC. Origins of Indus Valley Civilization. Origins of IVC. The controversy regarding the origins of IVC was whether it was sudden or gradual. Whether it was sudden origins or gradual. Whether it was sudden or gradual. Full stop. Sir John Marshall felt that IVC must have had a sudden beginning as he had not come across, as he had not seen or come across any village cultures around the towns and cities, any village cultures around the towns and cities, supporting urban life, supporting city life or urban life. Full stop. Next paragraph. However, the idea of Marshall proved wrong when village cultures were found in the later course of excavations, LATER, later course of excavations, in the later course of excavations, full stop. Further, comma, further, 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 a close observation of Indus Valley art forms such as pottery, 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 script and seals, establish the fact that Indus Valley civilization IVC developed over a period of time. Full stop. Next paragraph. The other reasons to support gradual development of IVC were semicolon number 1, all Indus Valley cities won't come under one single stage. They won't come under one single stage. That means they belong to different stages. Secondly, number two. Secondly, there were 4 stages in the evolution. 4 stages in the evolution of IVC. As per the archaeological evidence. Full stop. Now give the subheading stages of development. 4 stages of development. Number 1, pre-Harappan stage. Pre-Harappan stage. Pre-Harappan, pre-Harappan stage, within brackets, 4,500 to 3,500. 3,500 BC, before Christ. BC. All within brackets, 4,500 to 3,500 BC. It was the first stage, pre-Harappan stage, the first stage in the evolution of IVC. It all started in Baluchistan. Baluchistan with Meherghar. Meherghar maintaining close contacts with Mesopotamia. Meherghar maintaining close contacts with Mesopotamian civilization. With Mesopotamian civilization. Full stop. In course of time, small village cultures were formed in Baluchistan. Small village cultures were formed in Baluchistan. Closely connected to Meherghar. Closely connected to Meherghar and thereby to Mesopotamia. And thereby to Mesopotamia. Full stop. Next paragraph. The village cultures of pre-Harappan stage were I am writing down the names. Kili Gul Muhammad, Kili Gul Muhammad. These are the names of the villages. Rana Gundai, Jalilpur, Saraikola, Rehmandheri, Gumla, Khuli, Nal, Quetta, and Job. And Job. Full stop. The last four Kuli, Nal, Quetta, Job, the last four, are called proper Baluchi cultures. The last four are called, inverted commas, proper Baluchi. They are the actual Baluchi cultures, proper Baluchi cultures. Full stop. These cultures thrived, these cultures, THESC, these cultures thrived or they depended. They depended more on cattle, and practiced less cultivation. Practiced less cultivation, less agriculture. They lived in small herds. No towns and cities found in this stage. No towns and cities found in this stage. Right. Now give the subheading. Second stage, Proto-Harappan stage. Give the subheading, Proto-Harappan stage. Proto-Harappan stage, within brackets, 3500 to 2500. 3500 to 2500 BC. Brackets close. Proto-Harappan stage. It was a transition period. Proto-Harappan stage, a transition period from pre-Harappan to Harappan stage. Pre-Harappan to Harappan stage. Full stop. In this stage, Baluchi cultures entered into Sindh. Baluchi cultures entered into Sindh part of present Pakistan, and started agriculture. Within brackets, no agriculture before 3500. Within brackets, no agriculture before 3500 BC in the Sindh part. 3500 BC in the Sindh part. Brackets close. As lands were very fertile, surplus production was generated. Surplus production was generated, comma, with that trade and commerce developed, and towns and cities were formed. Towns and cities were formed for the first time. Full stop. Next paragraph. Amri, AMRI, and Kotdiji, KOTDIJI. Amri and Kotdiji, both in the Sindh part of present Pakistan, both in Sindh were the two early cities formed. Next paragraph. In the same stage, IVC expanded up to Kalibangan in Rajasthan, Kalibangan, Kalibangan in Rajasthan, and Banwali, Bunwali, Banwali in Haryana. Full stop. Next, give the subheading. The third stage, the Harappan stage. Third stage, the Harappan stage. Within brackets, 2500 to 1750 BC. 1750 BC, before Christ. 2500 to 1750 BC. Brackets close. It was the highest stage of the development of IBC. Full stop. In this stage, IVC emerged as the largest cultural formation in the prehistoric world. Largest cultural formation in the prehistoric world. With its boundaries, mark the boundaries important. With its boundaries, Suktajendar, Sukta, spelling Sukta, Zdendar, Suktajendar, in the Sindh part in west. Suktajendar in Sindh in the west. Suktajendar in Sindh in west to Alamgir, Alamgirpur, Alamgirpur, Alamgir, Alamgirpur. Alamgir is the title of Aurangzeb. It's named after him. Alamgirpur in UP in the east. Suktajendar in the west to Alamgirpur in UP in the east. Manda, Manda, Manda in Kashmir in the north. Manda in Kashmir in the north to Daimabad, Diamabad, Diamabad, Daimabad in Maharashtra in the south. Daimabad in Maharashtra in the south. Full stop. Next paragraph. Two-storied buildings. Two-storied buildings. Underground drainage systems. Beautiful pottery. Beautiful pottery, pot making. And seals. All appeared in this stage. They all appeared in this stage. Fine. Next paragraph, give the subheading. Post-Harappan stage. Post-Harappan stage. Underline post-Harappan stage. Meant, M-E-A-N-T, meant continuity of IVC. Continuity of IVC even after its decline. Full stop. The post-Harappan culture was found at Jukar, Chudhukar, and Jungar, Jukar and Jungar, places in Sindh, and Rakhi Ghari, Rakhi, R-A-K-H-I, Gari, G-A-R-H-I, and Rakhi Ghari, R-A-K-H-I, G-A-R-H-I, Rakhi Ghari in Haryana. Right. Is it clear, my dear? Fine. Now listen. For us, from the examination point of view, prelims, I already told you, Indus Valley sites, first class I told you, sites, location, findings. Very important. You are getting questions from this area. What are the important Indus Valley sites? To begin with, obviously, Harappa. Harappa, Harappa. Location on the banks of river Ravi in Montgomery district of West Punjab. Montgomery, right, and listen, let them rectify it. Montgomery district, Montgomery was our chief commander during World War II. The district was named after him. When India got divided in 1947, west part of Punjab gone away to Pakistan. Today's Punjab, East Punjab, what we have in India. Our problem is all important Indus Valley sites gone away to Pakistan. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chenhudaro, most important sites. That's why Indian historians, they are finding it difficult to reconcile with the reality. Pakistan, on the other hand, claims entire credit for developing Indus Valley civilization. The people of Indus Valley, they are not carried away by this idea of Pakistan, India and all that, right? They're nothing like that. Pakistan government, the way they write history textbooks, that entire Indus Valley civilization developed from Baluchistan, from here it went to India, credit must be given for Pakis. Understand? This is where our nationalist historians are finding it very difficult. I have given you impression, culture developed from west, expanded towards east. We came out with the theory, it's not like that. Indus Valley civilization developed first in Saraswati basin of Rajasthan and expanded towards west. History is, everyone distorts the subject history. I wanted to write history in my own way. You write history in your own way. You understand? That's why a new name suggested, Saraswati Sindh civilization. This is the name given by our Indian historians, particularly the rightist historians, who are highly nationalistic. I don't want to mention the names of the parties here, controversies. So important sites gone away to Pakistan. To begin with, Harappa, West Punjab, Montgomery district, on the banks of river Ravi. On the banks of river Ravi. Then what do we see here? Who excavated the site? 1921, Dayaram Sahani. He excavated the site and brought it into limelight. In archaeology, the practice is, we call the culture or the civilization after the first place where it is found. First Indus Valley site excavated, Harappa. That's why entire Indus Valley civilization is called Harappan culture. Why you call it Harappan culture? Because first site, Harappa. This word Harappan culture was quite popular. It was made popular by Sir John Marshall himself. Now India could tell very proudly the rest of the world that India had a much better civilization even before the advent of Aryans. Are you understanding? Who wrote the theories that Aryans came to India, natives were Dravidians and all that? The British historians. Poor fellows, they never read Sanskrit. They never learned Sanskrit. They have no thorough understanding about the problem. They wrote it that way, and we continue to get carried away by them. In Haryana, in this particular place, Harappa, when the site was excavated, okay, India could tell the world we had much better developed civilization even before the Aryans entered India. Then what do we see in Harappa? Class, please remember, when you go to Indus Valley sites, okay, all these sites uniformly planned. Rectangular shape with northern entrance, southern exit. All Indus Valley sites surrounded by a fortified wall. Fortified wall. This fortified wall, you call it citadel. Citadel or citadel. When you enter into Harappa, you have well-developed houses on the upper side, on the upper layer or the upper side of the town. The lower side of the town, you have the quarters of servants, small houses. Small houses means they are definitely the houses for workers and the lower section. In urbanization, we see classification, rich and poor in Indus Valley cities. In the lower portion of Harappa, you also see coffin burials. That means dead bodies buried. What's the problem? Coffin burials means dead bodies kept in the wooden chambers. This coffin burial is a peculiar burial practice you see in Harappa. Inside the city Harappa, in the excavations, you also had come across stone image of a male person above the waist. We call it torso. Torso means above the waist. Half size stone statue of a male person. This is also found in Harappa. What is very important and most interesting is outside the citadel, what do you see in Harappa? Outside the citadel of the city Harappa, you come across H-type, alphabet H-type of cemetery, looking like alphabet H. You know cemetery? Cemetery means burial. It looks like alphabet H. This is very peculiar. Nowhere you come across, nowhere else you see a structure like this. That means, is this native or foreign? Only in Harappa you see. In all other sites you don't have this structure, means, is it native or foreign? If it is native, means in all the cities you should see H-type of cemeteries. I am telling you, H-type of cemetery, only one found in Harappa. It is not found in all other cities. That means, is it native or foreign? It is foreign. If it is native, means all other structures must look alike. You see the same type of structures in other cities. Are you understanding? Only one H-type of cemetery. Only one. Very much unique. It means what? This registers the presence of foreigners. Somewhere you see the presence of foreigners in the Harappan zone or Indus Valley zone. Evidence for us in the form of H-type of cemetery. Just you listen to this point, don't entertain any other idea. When I go to downfall of Indus Valley civilization, I may have to correct all these things again. H-type of symmetry means a symmetry, entirely a new structure for Indus Valley civilization. It is new, we believe that some foreign race might have entered into Indus Valley zone. That's it. Put a full stop there. Don't go beyond that. Similarly, outside the citadel of Harappa, you come across 12 granaries. What are granaries, my dear? Meant for storing the grain. 12 granaries in 2 rows, in each row 6. These granaries built outside the citadel of Harappa on a highly elevated platform. Understand? Harappa called city of granaries. 12 granaries. Why they built them outside the citadel on a highly elevated platform? Problem every Indus Valley site faced was floods. Very frequently floods used to cause lot of damage. So it is your hard-earned grain with lot of effort, industry you have cultivated, and grain is important for your survival and subsistence. If a flood washes away this entire grain, then whole effort would go waste. That's why granaries were built at higher altitude level, higher plains. Okay. Harappa, called city of granaries. In Rigveda, you have Vedas, 4 Vedas. Aryan's first text Rigveda. Okay. Whenever I am using the word Aryan, please don't take any more Aryans as foreigners, but accept them as very much native. They developed a new civilization. Okay. When I go to these areas, I will definitely, interact with you on these concepts: Aryan, non-Aryan, Dravidian, and all that. That's a separate area. Aryans had their own literature, Vedic literature. First of the Vedas, Rigveda. Rigveda says that their most prominent god, Indra, destroyed the cities Harappa and Mohenjo-daro with his weapon, Vajrayudha, because Indra not happy with the people of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. According to Rigveda, that is the narrative of Rigveda. Rigveda says, God Indra destroyed Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Even though the people of Harappa tried to propitiate him, they tried to pacify him. They performed 1,000 sacrifices, but Indra not happy. Finally, Indra destroyed Harappa and Mohenjo-daro with his weapon called Vajrayudha. There is a lovely question, fantastic question UPSC gave. Okay. See the question they are given. For history optional people, they are given this question. Quote unquote, quotation. On circumstantial evidence, Indra stands convicted for the destruction of IVC. Discuss critically. Optional students, discuss critically. I may not be surprised to see the same question given for gender studies people. Your gender studies people, discuss critically. What is question? On evidence, circumstantial evidence, available evidence. On the basis of this available evidence, that Rigveda is telling Indra destroyed Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, Indra stands convicted. You Indra, you criminal Indra, you destroyed Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. Whose quotation is this? Mortimer Wheeler's quotation. Now it is for us to establish whether really Indra destroyed them or not. That I will discuss in the last part when I go to the decline of IVC. That is the right context. Okay. Take a note. Important Indus Valley sites. Important Indus Valley sites. Number 1, Harappa, Harappa, located on the banks of river Ravi. On the banks of river Ravi in the Montgomery district, Montgomery, Montgomery, Montgomery district. of West Punjab. West Punjab of present Pakistan. Full stop. Present Pakistan. Full stop. The site was excavated by Dayaram Sahani. Dayaram, D-A-Y-A-R-A. Sahani, S-A-H-A-N-I. Dayaram Sahani in 1921. Full stop. As it was the first Indus Valley site, excavated entire IVC was called Harappan culture. Full stop. Sir John Marshall made the word Harappan culture popular. Made the word Harappan culture popular. Full stop. In the site Harappa, next paragraph. In the site Harappa, in the lower portion of the city, we find servant quarters, working class houses, servant quarters, and coffin burials. Coffin, C-O-F-F-I-N. Burial, B-U-R-I-A. Coffin burials. Full stop. Stone image of a male. Stone image of a male above the waist. Above the W-A-I-S-T, waist portion, above the waist, was found in the city Harappa. Full stop. The seal, S-E-A-L, seal of humped bull. Seal of hump, H-U-M-P-E-D. H-U-M-P-E-D, humped bull, seal of humped bull, was also found. Very important, mark it important, seal of humped bull was also found in Harappa. Full stop. Next paragraph. Outside the citadel of Harappa, outside the citadel of Harappa, we find H type of symmetry, capital letter H. H type, TYP. H type of symmetry, capital letter H. Inverted commas, capital letter H, inverted commas. H type of symmetry, suggesting the presence of of a foreign race foreign RAC race in the Indus Valley zone. In the Indus Valley zone. Full stop. Next paragraph. 12 granaries were found. 12, 1, 2. Granary, Graneries. Granaries were found, 6 in each row. 6 in each row. That means 2 rows. In 2 rows. 12 granaries were found in 2 rows. Right like that. 12 granaries were found in 2 rows outside the citadel. First, Harappa called City of Granaries. Full stop. Next paragraph. According to Rigveda, R-I-G, Rigveda, V capital letter, V-E-D, Rigveda, comma, the first text of the Aryans, Aryans god Indra, destroyed Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Destroyed cities Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. With his weapon, Vajrayudha, Vajra, V-A-J-R-A, Y-U-D-H-A, Yudha, spelling V-A-J-R-A, Vajra, Yudha, Y-U-D-H-A, Vajrayudha, full stop. City Harappa was called Hariyupiya. City Harappa was called Hariyupiya in Rigveda. Comma, as the city of 1,000 sacrifices. Full stop. Okay, go for your break. Right. Next to Harappa, you have Mohenjo-daro. I told you the meaning of the word Mound of the Dead. That is a Sindhi word. we don't know what actually the name of the city during Indus Valley times. I told you, no knowledge about their language. What are the names of Indus Valley cities in Indus Valley times? We had no knowledge. We call them Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Suktajendar, Surkotada, like that. This site Mohenjo-daro was discovered and excavated by R.D. Banerjee in 1922. Located on the right bank of river Indus, in the Larkana district of present Pakistan, Sindh part of present Pakistan. Mohenjo-daro in the Sindh part of present Pakistan. For you, from examination point of view, this is the most important site. Maximum number of findings, important findings, are connected with the site Mohenjo-daro. Model city. What do you mean by model city? All other Indus Valley cities were planned, built on the model of Mohenjo-daro. If you see Mohenjo-daro, you don't have to see all other Indus Valley sites. A typical Indus Valley site, model city. Okay. Mohenjo-daro, most expanded city with an estimated population of 55,000. See this. In 55,000 in Indus Valley times, 2500 BC. That means a very big city. Estimated population must be around 55,000. Then what is the importance of the site? I said from examination point of view, this is very important. You got a question in the civils mains. Describe the town planning of Indus Valley cities by taking any city of your choice. Take any city. Explain town planning. For that, Mohenjo-daro is a wonderful choice. What do you see in Mohenjo-daro? When we enter the city Mohenjo-daro, I already told you, city is planned in the rectangular shape. Okay. Mohenjo-daro, it has, like Harappa, the northern entrance, southern exit. Okay. This is the entrance, north, southern exit. Okay. When you enter the site, what really attracts our attention first is, in the heart of the city, you have swimming pool-like structure. This great swimming pool-like structure, you call it Great Bath. G capital letter, Great. Bath, B capital letter. A swimming pool-like structure. Question in UPSC, what is the entrance for this swimming pool-like structure? Entrance again north, exit to south. On the western side, you have a well for lifting fresh water. On the eastern side, you have a wonderfully laid drainage system for disposing the used water. A classic example for wonderful drainage system, Great Bath. Then on the right side of Great Bath, you have a very big structure in circular shape with an entrance to enter. This structure is meant for people to assemble, people to sit, assemble and discuss. In Indus Valley times, it appears like that cities were governed by municipal bodies. Okay. So you have structures meant for, understand, people to assemble, an assembly hall, big assembly hall. On the left side of the Great Bath, you have a very big granary. Very big granary meant for storing the grain. Okay. This is called great granary, very big granary. On the top portion of this great granary, you come across a temple-like structure, looking like a temple. You are not in a position to say in certain terms that it is temple, but it's looking like a temple. Okay. So Great Bath, Assembly Hall, great granary, very big granary, and temple-like structure. These are civil constructions in the city Mohenjo-daro, civil constructions. Then what else we see? In the site Mohenjo-daro, in the excavations, right, you had come across the seal of Pashupati Mahadev. Very, very important, my dear. What do you mean by seal of Pashupati Mahadev? Indus Valley seals, I told you, generally you find them in 1 rupee coin size. Size-wise, 1 rupee coin. Very small. Circular seal. In that circular seal, 1 rupee coin size, for the first time you see the image of a person, okay, being seated in yogic posture, in deep meditation. Deep meditation in yogic posture with 3 faces. 3 faces, 2 horns, okay, surrounded by 4 animals, a buffalo, tiger, rhino, and elephant, standing in 4 different directions, and 2 deer, D-E-E-R. Plural form of deer is deer only, not deers. 2 deer at his feet. Person in deep meditative posture. In our Hindu mythology, there is no word called Hindu in prehistory. No word called Hindu in Vedas. No Veda tells you the word Hindu. No word called Hindu in Vedas. When I go to Vedas also, I'll tell you all that. Hinduism, for that matter, is not a religion. It's a way of life. The way I lead my life is my dharma. Sanatan dharma. World's oldest dharma. Okay. What is dharma? Righteous path. First, it is good for you. Forget about others, but it is good for you. It is good for you. Generally, it is good for others also. Follow this. This is the right thing. You want to question? Question it. Don't follow it. Fantastic Hinduism. No religion had given that much liberty. Hinduism, the only Hinduism which questioned God. Where is God? Only Hinduism permits you. When you go to Hindu philosophy, you will understand. Everything is permitted here. Because life itself is a very small affair. Why unnecessarily you spoil with dogmatic ideas and teachings, clashes with others and all that? I take my hats off to my great rishis. They never told you anything. They told you seek everything on your own. Follow it or don't follow it. Go accordingly. But it's good if you do this. Now coming to Indus Valley times, you have Shiva's first stage, you will find it here. This form, what that you see in the seal, we call it seal of Pashupati. It is not that he is surrounded by cattle, Pashu, you call him Pashupati. No, my dear. Pasha, all are Pashus. You and I are also Pashus. We are bound by Pasha. Okay. Robe, bandha. Bandha means bond. He who liberates us from all these bonds, he is Pashupati. Are you understanding? Who liberates us from all our bonds? That is Shiva, Mahakal. Understand? By giving death, he liberates you. You are liberated from the pain. No more pain. Understand? Go for another life, better life. Shiva is like father. Why Shiva stays in Smashana, graveyard? No God stays in Smashana. Only Shiva. Compassionate Shiva. When we die, we are mortally scared of death. Understand? We have no guts to face death. Shiva is there to stand by you. Don't worry, I am your father. I am there. Okay. Compassionate Shiva. Shiva in always meditative posture. Understand? So this image we call it as proto-Shiva formation. You are not in a position to say in certain terms, yes, he is Shiva. You cannot deny it that it is not the Shiva form either. So you call it as proto-Shiva. This seal of Pashupati, is found in Mohenjo-daro. Another seal found. There you see the image of horse. It's looking like horse. Evidence is not certain. Evidence is not definite. Doubtful whether it is horse or donkey or mule. You are not able to establish it clearly. People believe it is the sign of horse, but no evidence, no concrete evidence to say. You call it the seal of horse. Bronze image of a dancing girl. Bronze image of a dancing girl, my dear, the most beautiful image in the Indus Valley art. Why do you say most beautiful? Are this girl is not looking so beautiful. Bronze image of a beautiful dancer. What is beautiful here? The girl is not so beautiful. Stumpy nose, thick lips. Okay. Why you call her beautiful? Not because of her appearance, but the way the image is made. I told you only an accomplished craftsman of great stature could make an image like that. Okay. Making an image in dancing posture is very difficult. You must give the impression for the viewer that all her organs are in perfect equilibrium. Understand? Not that easy. A wonderful example for the technical perfection of the Indus Valley artist, bronze dancing girl. Image of the bronze dancing girl. Anybody from Bhopal? Okay. People coming from Bhopal, okay, they are there, they don't want to raise their hands. Kuch question posted to in Bhopal, you have one museum, okay, just near that great lake. The museum is the archaeology museum. There you see the duplicate image of the bronze image, duplicate image of the bronze image of the dancing girl of IVC. In National Archives we have that original one. If time permits, go and see this. Okay, fantastic image. Similarly, you also come across the image of a bearded man. Bearded man looking like a priest. He might be beggar also, we don't know. Growing beard. Growing beard. Growing beard is not a qualification to be called as a priest. Okay. He looks like a priest. He looks like a priest. Okay. Questions figured on this also. Bearded man. Image of a bearded man made of. It was made of steatite. Steatite, a type of soft rock. This is the rock, soft rock used for making seals. All Indus Valley seals are made of steatite. Okay, there are of course seals made of clay also, not an exception. Okay. By and large, you see seals made of steatite. Same steatite used for making the image of a bearded man looking like a priest. Wonderful image. In Mohenjo-daro, you also see a piece of woven cloth. Cloth, I dictated, Indus Valley people were the first to cultivate cotton. Evidence for clothing, Mohenjo-daro, piece of woven cloth. Scale for measuring distance. Want to measure distance? Distance. Measurement. You mean they had matrix system? Yes, my dear. Her fellows are highly advanced. Their basic unit of measurement, 16, 1/6, and its multiples. 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. That's how their measurement will go. So basic unit of measurement is 16. How do you say 16? There, for every line you see the bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Next line, you'll have 32 bars. That means 16 is the basic unit. We borrowed this 16 as the basic unit for our rupee. 1 rupee is equal to 16 ana. You must have heard of anas. Barana, charana, like that. 16 anas is equal to 1 rupee. See this, my dear. You borrowed 16 number from Indus Valley matrix system. That's why I say everywhere you see the influence of IVC. In Mohenjo-daro, we also had come across clay dolls, terracotta figurines of a cart, C-A-R-T, cart. Mohenjo-daro city inundated, flooded as many as 7 times. Remember, river Indus coming from Himalayas with tremendous flow. Okay. The intensity of river Indus, I am telling you, twice more than that of river Nile. Intensity of river Indus, when it comes down from Himalayas, that intensity itself can cause earthquake. Understand? With a tremendous speed, river Indus comes down from Himalayas, causing massive floods, destruction, massive destruction. It is said that Mohenjo-daro flooded as many as 7 times. How do you know? You observe Indus Valley structures, constructions in Mohenjo-daro, house constructions in Mohenjo-daro, they give you the impression that these constructions underwent renovations as many as 7 times. That makes it quite clear. When flood strikes, my dear, it damages definitely a portion of your house. When flood recedes, you come back and go for renovating that portion that is destroyed. Okay. As and when flood strikes, you don't dismantle the entire structure and go for new construction, right? Okay. You would only go for renovating the portion that is damaged. So by observing the Indus Valley houses, you can definitely say that as many as 7 times the structures got renovated, which means flooded. This is all about Mohenjo-daro, the mound of the dead. To the south of Mohenjo-daro, you have Chenhu-daro. Chenhu-daro on the left bank of river Indus, to the south of Mohenjo-daro. This site was also, this is also in Sindh part of Pakistan. South means Sindh only. It was excavated by N.G. Majumdar Nandagopal Majumdar, 1931. What is the importance of this site? I told you all the Indus Valley cities would have the fortified wall called citadels. Citadels. Chenhudaro is the city without citadel. No fortified wall. Very interesting. That's number one. In all the Indus Valley cities, you find people using well-baked bricks for constructing houses. Whereas in Chenhudaro, we find stone, not brick. Next, number three, Chenhudaro, a major center for bead making, B-E-E-D, bead. You know, in your chains, decorative items, you use beads. Bead making industry, major center Chenhudaro. In Chenhudaro, you also had come across one object looking like a pot. You call it as ink pot. Ink pot. Pot meant for storing the writing materials. If you remember, I told you, Indus Valley people had their own script called pictography, language of pictures. If they want to communicate a message, they communicate the message by drawing pictures. Right? Only the fellow who had drawn and the fellow who it is meant for, these two only know. You and I just can't make out anything. Are you understanding? That's the main drawback. Looking at Indus Valley script means it's just like you going to modern painting exhibition. People go to modern painting exhibition. Standing before there, the paintings, they say, "Arey, wow, kya beautiful painting hai." What did you understand? This is national award-winning painting. Painting. Simply you can't stand before that and say, "What a lovely painting." What could you understand? You see Picasso's paintings, world-renowned painter Picasso. Why to talk of Picasso? You must have seen Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, most beautiful Mona Lisa. What is so beautiful about Mona Lisa? Ask anyone. They are still breaking their heads. Still breaking their heads regarding how to look at Mona Lisa. You look at straight, or you have to look at it from the right angle or left angle. Is Mona Lisa's smile is so beautiful, or it is a senile smile, unhealthy smile? World is mad after her smile. Right? Finally they say, "Arere, her smile is not really beautiful. Something is wrong with her smile." Okay. You are still breaking your heads. You don't know how to look at Mona Lisa. You have to bring back Leonardo. Leonardo da Vinci. You, Da Vinci, kindly sit with us and tell us how to look at Mona Lisa. Okay. Same thing with Indus Valley script. The problem is only Indus Valley people should come back to tell us what they had drawn, the images and the meaning. Here you are drawing the image. For that you have to bring the type of sandstone, lapis lazuli and all that. Sandstone slabs. On that you have to inscribe the script. Okay. For that you have to use again some chemicals. To store all that, there is one object called ink pot. This ink pot is found in Chenhudaro. Chenhudaro is also known for stone image of a male dancer. Stone image of a male dancer looking like Shiva. In Hindu mythology, Shiva has maximum number of forms, F-O-R-M-S, forms. Vishnu Bhagavan has avatars. Shiva never takes avatar. He only takes form, quality. You know, dancing Shiva is Nataraj. Shiva performs 29 types of tandavas. Tandava, masculine gesture of the human body, tandava. Very swift movement, calls for lot of energy to perform tandava. Shiva performs Ananda Tandava, Ujjiva Tandava, Pralaya Tandava, Tandavas. Parvati doesn't perform Tandava. Parvati performs Lasya. She doesn't perform Tandava. Understand? What is Lasya? Gesticulations of body. She expresses her feelings, facial expressions, raising eyebrows. Understand? She only remains as a good spectator to see her husband performing Tandava. Why she doesn't perform Tandava? If she performs Tandava, Shiva cannot stand before her. Are you understanding? Who gives Shiva the energy to perform Tandava? Parvati. Without her, he cannot. And Parvati, a devoted wife, she would never like to see her husband down. Are you understanding? Parvati never makes any pranam to anyone. Only she makes pranam to Shiva. All other gods, they wait for her benign vision. She never cares for anyone. Only Shankara. That's it. Because Shankara never expects anything. Got the point? Kanchi Paramacharya, Mahasaraswati, Chandrasekhara used to tell us, live like a Shiva. Don't expect anything from anyone. Try to give something to others. That's why Parvati is so loyal to Shiva. Understand? Questions in UPSC. Shiva performs Tandava. Where? Question. Nataraja is seen with how many hands? That is the question. Civil service question. Nataraj is seen with how many hands? 2. You and I, like you and I. Dancing. Nataraj is seen with 4 hands. 4 hands. Where do you see Shiva's original image as Nataraj? That is Chidambaram temple. Chidambaram in Tamil Nadu. Shaiva Agama Shastra tells you Shiva comes down to the earth at 6 o'clock in the evening. He is abode Kailash. But that is not the place where he performs Tandava. He performs Tandava in Chidambaram at 6 o'clock, Pradosha Veda. That is the time Shiva gets activated. That's why your elders also tell you, don't go to temples at 6 o'clock. Okay, because no god would be there in the temple. All these gods would go to Chidambaram to give their attendance there. Because Shiva is performing dance. Okay. Only exception. Only exception, Narasimha. Lord Narasimha, he won't go there. Exception is Narasimha. Nandi blowing drums, Saraswati playing veena, Vishnu Bhagavan playing, another instrument, Chatantru. Okay. Different gods blow different instruments. Shiva performing Tandava. So dance goes with Shiva. And an example, a classic example of that, Somewhere you see, if you go to Indus Valley sites, you get the impression they definitely must have followed a type of Shaivism, worshipping Shiva. That is about Chenhudaru. Being on the banks of river Indus, Chenhudaru was also prone to get flooded. Chenhudaru flooded as many as 3 times. Okay. Not like Mohenjo-daro, but definitely it was also flooded as many as 3 times. Right? Take a note. Alright, it's time. My dear, we shall stop here. Okay. I will post the synopsis for Mohenjo-daro and Chenhudaru. Clear? Right now I will post you synopsis.